Good afternoon, everybody. It's MVP here. This is Saturday, the 6th of August. It's in the evening, actually, and I'm just doing a very quick review of the week. What happened in the week. I wasn't trading much, as everyone knows. I've been traveling and working. I have a consultancy business as well, so I've been involved in that. Haven't had a chance to get to the screens, but hey, let's have a quick look and see how we're doing in the week. Just wanted to flag up, I operate out of the FXCorrelator.com website. This is my website, very simple one, nothing fancy, guys. Few pages here if you flick through it, and all I mention apart from my CV here, who I actually am, if you drop down here, join my mailing list. I promise not to heavily sell anything to you or anything. I don't do that. It'll just give you an update as to what I'm going to be doing in 2017, hopefully for training. I'm trying to wind my consulting side of my finance. Well, I'm an accountant, so I do a lot of finance and commercial consulting for large corporates. I'm trying to wind that down a bit and get more into my trading next year, which involves training as well. I enjoy training. I've always enjoyed training and mentoring people, so I want to get into that as well. You know, register and I'll keep you up to speed with what's going to be happening next year. Hopefully it will be early in 2017. It really depends. But yeah, if you can do that, that'll be great. Look forward to that. A few things on here. There's some free links, system stuff. Go here, click in the boxes, and you'll get some updates from me, all free. Some of my systems, my indicators. I've got a blog where I attach things like videos like these to keep people up to speed with what's going on, which is always, quite interesting. So what we're talking about, a few here. Last one was to do with Brexit, and this is actually post-Brexit. I think this was August the 4th. So actually, yeah, this week, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Mark Carney's announcement about interest rates in the UK, and then training right at the end. You can have a quick look there, see how the training's going. These are my proposed courses next year, and what I'm looking to do. It's not cast in stone. But this is generally what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach people a little bit more about Forex, strength meters, using them generically across all time frames. And what I'm hoping to do, and I'm working on this at the moment, is get people into scalping. That's much more advanced. That's what I'm really looking forward to, because this is where you really can make very good money. If you get into it, you get the training, you get 6 months to a year of solid training and working with me, and you could get to some very good levels there of return. Scalping is where the money is. I don't care what people tell you. It's only through scalping and short-term trading where you get a chance to trade a lot of trades where you can get the returns on your capital, guys. There's no other way of doing it. You cannot do it. You can't do it on hourlies and 4 hourlies. You're not getting the returns, not on 1-2% capital risk. So anyway, that's that. So yeah, always available there, and email me. You've got my links here, fxcorrelator@gmail.com. if you've got any questions. People are always asking me questions. I try and get back to you as quick as I can, and I'm happy to help. I really am happy to help with some of the basics on Forex, strength meters and so on, that I've built over the years. So thanks for that. Okay, let's take a look at the week then. Now what you see here is not a standard strength meter. I talked about this before. It's not my basic FX correlator indicator. It's just more of a bespoke one. It allows me to set my values to 0 at any point in time. Again, this actually is not available free. Sorry about that, guys. It's also got huge amounts of other tricks and whistles on it that I developed with some other programmers. Not available, but it gives you an idea of what happened in the week. Okay, we've got our 8 currencies there, and this is from a 0 start on Sunday night. And so through the week you can see what happened. So let's have a look at what happened in the week, shall we? What I'm actually going to do now is for each of these composite days, where the dotted lines come down, that's each day's Monday through Friday. I'm actually going to now go into these areas. I'm going to expand the range so you can see what happened day in day out a little bit easier. Okay, so bear with me. So what you're looking at now is Monday. Up to about 7-8 o'clock Monday. Okay, this is coming in, this is overnight, this is Sunday coming into early Monday morning. So this first area you see here up to the red dotted line is the Asian session. Okay, what I call the Asian session overnights. Always take a quick look at that to see what's happening before it sets me up for the red dotted line, which indicates this is GMT -1, so this is 6 a.m. That dotted line 6 a.m. British summertime, and that's when I start trading. I trade from 6 to 8 most mornings before I start my consultancy business and consultancy work. So we'll talk about that. 12 o'clock down here therefore means 1 o'clock, and that's roughly when I classify the early US opens, and then you go through to obviously the end of the day. So what happened? Well, we came in. Mondays are notoriously slow normally, guys, and this was no exception. What did we get? Asian saw the pound go into the 40 pips bull, and the yen equal and opposite down to about the -50s. Okay, so there wasn't that much going on. Green USD was bear, so that was the lead up into the London session. And I'm always very aware of what's happened in the Asian session. I go London, and then I started to trade London, or I would have done. I didn't trade much this week, guys. So what did we see? Well, we saw sterling, red sterling, start to climb bullishly through early London. Came near or towards the support, the resistance levels there, and then it sold off through the session. Big sell-offs through the session at London. By the time we got to about 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, as the equity markets opened, as other markets opened. So it was a sell for the day. The message for for Monday was definitely a sell. Sterling, and everything else pretty much rose. Selling sterling into everything. Got a nice steady rise of the greenback there through the day. The yen came back strong. Swissy, everything. There was nothing really selling off. It was all about selling sterling into London. See down here, so sterling really sold off from the plus 30s down to the -50s. There was an 80 pip move there, guys. However, it did start to recover. You see it recovering here, coming into US session, and by the time the US session, it was fighting back towards zero. What happened US? Well, the Swissy was doing very well. Swissy had a good US session, guys. The Swissy was a good one to be buying, coming back in off the bounces here. Greenback went flat, as it always tends to do. The greenback went flat. Just going to move it along a bit so we come through to the end of the session there. Okay, so that's through to basically through to the Asian session. US very flat. Sterling started ranging really once it got near the zero from the start of the week. Aussie sold off. CAD was a good sell. CAD sold solidly through the session. Aussies did as well. So it was the Aussie and the CAD that were the sells on Monday, and a nice solid steady look at this steady rise of the USD, the greenback. That was a good run through, wasn't it? And we're coming from below the zero here. This is the it got down to around the -20s, and it's gone all the way up through towards very much the late US session through to 20. It's gone up about 40-50 pips. That's a nice solid thing. Very nice. Use something like the USD as a nice platform to trade the more volatile currencies indexes against it. The more volatile indexes, what do I mean? Well, if you have followed the markets, you will know that things like the sterling and the yen, and to a certain degree CAD, are very volatile. They're much more volatile than the others. Their ATRs, their average true ranges on their pairs, are much more than some of the others. So I tend to call them the alpha currencies. They're the ones I'm tending to follow a lot. I look for my moves off of them. I use the others to trail them, obviously pairing up with them. But that was the day really. So that was Monday. Now what I'm going to do is drag this through to Tuesday. So we're coming through to Asian here. So see, I'm dragging it through. So I've just reset up the UK Opens, London Open and US Open. So this is Asian here. So I'll just get these out of the way, guys. I haven't reset this, by the way, to the new Asian session. That's something obviously I do when I'm doing my own trading. I just want to keep it still set from the Sunday night. So you're seeing where these currencies are from the start of the week. So the progress they're making, either bullish or bearish. Remember, there's a dotted line where they started zero. So at this moment, these currencies up here are bull for the week. Yeah, the ones below, bear for the week. Always keep in mind that during the week, especially if you're trading higher time frames. I'm a scalper, so really what's going on for the week, once I'm outside of Monday and I'm into Tuesday, I don't give two figs what's going on for the week. I'm much more into my intra sessions, like what happened in the Asian session. I don't want to know really what Sunday was doing. I don't need to until possibly Thursday night into Friday, when I assess any potential retraces of indexes on that day. So where were we? We were coming in tight. So what happened? The Asian session pretty flat, as you can see. Can you see how none of the currencies really made any impact here? We're only talking 20-30 pips here max. Came into London, and then the fun starts. So very early London, we had sterling bear. Very early London, we still had the USD bull, we had yen bull, quite interesting. But again, nothing much really went off early London. Really, there's nothing here that, you know, the pound is being volatile. See how it's kind of ranging here. It's swinging. It's swinging probably 20 or 30 there. Let's just check that. Actually, it's more like about 40 pips, 50 pips there. So it's quite interesting. So the sterling was the one that was the most entertaining. You would have sold it here, you would have bought it here, you would have sold it here. Man, you know, that's the kind of fun you can have with sterling. And within that, there is plenty of opportunities to scalp your 5-10 pips. Okay, remember that. USD generally was very bare. London session. So again, you know, if I had been scalping with half an eye on the USD being bare, I was really looking more specifically for sterling buys. These two buys here would have been where I've been looking to buy. Why? Because what I want is, you know, when I'm looking to buy sterling, I need a weak currency to go against it. There wasn't anything particularly up here that was weak. The euro really wasn't weak, so I really would have been looking for the cable here would have been buys here, and another nice buy here through here. You see that? It comes off. Nice little bit of support and resistance. See the support line here for sterling? Couldn't get down below this point. Bang, every time. Buy it back up, buy it back up. Very, very nice patterns here to make some money. And you could have made 10, 15, 20 pips there quite easily. No problem at all. Into the US session. And again, we're getting quite good now. Notice obviously that sterling's been doing quite well now. It's come back above the zero for the week, and now we're starting to really get into some buys. And actually, the story of Tuesday afternoon was a very strong yen, very strong bull. You buy both of those. Obviously, you don't trade them against one another because they're going in the same direction. But there is plenty of opportunities, really nice opportunities to be buying these alpha currencies and selling pretty much anything else. Everything else was pretty flat. In fact, the CAD was dramatically sold off through the morning, through the the US morning. And it stayed there, and it came off about 100, well, less than 100, probably 80 to 90 pips. So again, you know, I wouldn't necessarily scout these pairs because of the spreads you have to pay. But you know, if you did take a more longer position for that day, perhaps a 15-minute position here, all the way through for the next 3, 4 hours, 5 hours, if you bought either yen or sterling into CAD, that was a nice trade, guys. Okay. This is Wednesday. I'm not going to worry too much about Wednesday. It was fairly flat. We had our two bull currencies for the week. Yep, just swapping over here, swapping positions. The CAD just drifted along, didn't get much further, and actually came back in for buys, and everything else pretty flat. So Wednesday was quite a boring day, guys. So I'm not going to bore you with that. Thursday was much more interesting, and if you remember, this is when Mark Carney, Bank of England, gave his speech as to what was happening with sterling, and it was strongly anticipated he was going to reduce interest rates, which he did. So here we are ticking along again. These two guys staying pretty bull. Everything else pretty flat. Everyone was waiting for the announcement, which came I think about 1 o'clock. I can't remember. Let's have a look. Remember, this is -1. I think his comment was, this looks 10, about 11:30 was it, something like that. I can't remember, but you can see the impact. Okay, you can see the impact. Sterling at this point was about 114 pips up for the week, roughly. Okay, by the time he finished his speech, probably about half an hour later, 10, half an hour later or so, sterling had dropped over 200 pips. Okay, that was the impact. It went down like a lead balloon. Clearly, if you drop your interest rates, it has a very negative impact on currencies. So that's what a 0.0 or whatever, a 0.25% drop in interest rates costs sterling. And actually, as you can see here, it never really recovered. It just kept drifting down. So great opportunities to keep winning sterling all the way through. Actually got down to about 132 pips for the week, and probably in the region of 250 pips. So 250 pips of drop. Then it did start coming off the floor, back end of the US session, and fighting back. Okay. And as for Friday, I'm just going to whisk into Friday there. Nothing too much. There were some nice moves actually. This is going to be obviously it's going to be the NFPs, and there was some nice news for the US economy. So up came USD. USD had a nice run on the day. The Aussie dollar did well, and the yen did well. So almost like carry trades here, guys. These two especially. Again and again, the poor sterling gets hammered again through the floor. This is its low for the week, by the way. we're still on the 100. But overall, and I'm just going to come back a bit for a second. But overall, if you come back to the start of the week here, and come through the weeks, you can see where our highs and lows were. The actual whole market never really got much above the I mean, sterling got down to the 150s by the end of the week, and the yen was up to the 150s, 160s, 300 pips spread on the week. Not that much. I've seen better. I mean, bear in mind it was in the thousands the week of the main Brexit, so that's good enough. It took a while to warm up, but not a bad week overall. Again, you know, if you were looking for where the big trades were, the yen was bull and stable all week. Sterling got strong through the week, but then obviously the interest rate decision sent it through the floor. Everything else was fairly flat. Okay, so that was the week. Okay, this is MVP again signing off. Have a great week next week. Again, guys, sorry, I'm still going to be traveling on business and in my consultancy business, so I'm not going to be trading much next week again. August is a pretty busy month for me. Hopefully I'm going to be around much more in September and get back to business, but I will make the odd comment on my sites at Trade to Win and at Forex Factory, and just get in touch with me if you want. So have a great week, and this is MVP signing off. Cheers.